Let's hear what you had to say.
Okay. Um,
Sure.
so I wrote Boston's 31st birthday celebration. Get ready for a live performance by Kabza the Small, the King of Amapiano, 22nd March 2024 at Boston Media House Center. Limited tickets will be on sale as from tomorrow. Prepare to be blown away by the live performance by Kabza the Small. Be there or be told, coming to you live from Boston radio station.
Okay. Good. Good. So tell me. So you need to give me more about the event. Does it cost
Oh,
anything? What time is it beginning? Like, you understand what I'm saying to you? Will there be anything more than just Cubs out? You understand? Like, is the so that we can make sure that we really emphasize that, also that birthday celebration.
okay.
So like a good thing is to, and you don't have to partner up with someone, but when you do partner up with someone, you can always there's always a lot of prizes that you can give away, whatever it may be. You understand? Um, so you can partner up with like, let's say, a relevant brand. So for example, you can partner up with Nike, and then as an example, I'm not expecting you to have assumed that now, but for example, we can say walking forward with Nike and Boston Media House as we're growing, in our second year and our birthday, whatever it may be, right? So we
Mhm.
can tie in certain brands and kind of make like a bit of a clever loop around it, or whatever it may be, right? Take on it. But the main thing is that we do need, remember, that the how, the what, the when, the where, and the
Okay.
why. Like, why do they need to be down there? Also try to be a little bit like push a little bit more. If you can find ways of, like I say, definitely like get your tickets at, and so that we know that there's a call to action as well. Then it's all right. Why did you pick Kabza then? You know,
Yes,
P-
yes. Okay.
particular. But tell me why
Oh,
did you?
oh.
Yeah.
Well, Kabza he's liked by a lot of young people.
Mm, yes.
Yes. And people our ages, I believe,
Mm,
are into Amapiano.
yeah.
I like
Yeah.
Kabza, Devon Gogo. If
Mm,
people hear those names, ah,
yeah.
it will be packed there.
Yeah.
So
That's
yes,
the thing.
yes.
True. But then also don't sell your brand short. So for example, we have our own DJs as well. You understand? We also have that we can feature Soul Candy, like, let's say, our students that are working at Soul Candy for
Oh,
presets, whatever it may be.
yes.
Um, and the birthday will be emceed by your favorite Gua Gua Gua, and you can make up the, because I'm not sure who hosts the shows on BMH. You understand?
Okay.
Um, so opportunities is there. Okay, but good.
Yes.
Thank you for that. Oradile, tell me yours.
Okay. Join us on Friday the for the fourth annual celebration. Friday the 29th for the fourth annual celebration of BMH Radio's birthday celebration. It will be held at the Garden Venue um, in North Riding, Johannesburg. Come and join us for a great time and get a chance to interact with some of the DJs and creators of BMH Radio. There will be live performances from Gobs the Small, Caspin Your Vest, as well as many more other artists. Tickets are available on CompuTicket as well as Pick and Pay, Spar, and other retailers.
Okay. Yeah, good. Nice. I think the first thing that I would say is try and avoid cliches like "and many more." Rather just tell us who's going to be there. Because the more that you tell, the more likely someone's going to say, "No, I really want to go to that thing." You understand? Like, I want to go to that concert or whatever it may be, right? Why did you pick that particular venue, eh?
Um, I'm not quite sure. It's just a venue that I've been been to there's been an event that was hosted there, so
Did you
just
like it?
yeah,
I
really.
mean, what did you enjoy about it?
Well, it's very open, as well as it has a very pleasing aesthetic. So especially for the youth. So yeah.
How so? So because I wanna be able to. So whenever you have something, try and also make sure that you can back it up with with the reasoning or whatever. So tell me why so for because you said that it's great for the youth. So how's this the location specifically
Um,
better? It's appealed to by the youth or for the youth.
well, um, well the aesthetic about it has um a lot of new spaces that are like created in a sense, whereas there's artwork that has been displayed there for young people, right?
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
statues, no, not statues as such, but then like sculptures of like
Pieces. Yeah.
yeah, pieces of artwork, as well as what else? It,
So when you went to that, What was this event that you went to there?
it was it was a sit down, right?
Oh, okay.
It was a sit down for some of my, well, it was a friend's sit down. So we were there, and I saw that it had like um because it wasn't really they didn't really have like any designer for like the theme or whatever. It was naturally just like that. So
Okay. Okay. All right. So just follow-up questions. I'm not trying to make conversation, but you understand. I'm just so I can also picture,
okay.
and so that you can also picture. Okay, good stuff. All right. Any questions on that first? Are there any questions? Were you guys fine with that first lesson? You good? Should I
Yeah,
move on to the next one? All right.
basically.
Let's have a look at the next one. So lesson 6. Can you? So there are quite a lot of videos in this particular one, right? You can both see it. All good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. So this is just completing chapter 14. So part 4, just ending off this particular arc, I would say, of the radio professional. Once again, textbook right in front of you. I hope you do have it because there's going to be quite a few references in terms of activities just in this particular lesson, and a lot of short videos, right? I might not play every single video because it's quite excessive, right? But there are a few that I will play are quite short. Okay. All right. So what do we want to learn, look at, should I say, in this particular lesson? Volunteering and mentorship, the importance of that, and how it isn't just an urban legend that people do volunteer in radio because they need to. Page 540, 542, 544, 545, networking and relationships, career advice and golden rules, and then how to look at your CV and how to make it professional, or like I say, restructure it, or repackage it to look professional. What is a professional CV, right? Independent learning will then include you reading some papers, case studies by Lloyd, Kruger, Caton, Johnson, and Deezer, all links that you can find in your textbook that are aimed at expanding the knowledge base on and understanding what it means to embody the being of a radio professional. Then there's also an additional one. Read David Lloyd's chapter on a long career remaining in work in a competitive industry and improving and getting into radio, the right route to the right job, from how to make great radio tips and techniques, page 253, sorry, and 279. Okay. So what, again, just to kind of recap on all of that quickly, how vital work experience is. Understanding most work experience will be done on a volunteer basis, knowing that where you can find work experience, right, over and above what we just explained in the previous lesson by creating your own portfolio, one. Understand the nature of networking and relationship building, and also the approach that you have, that and the demeanor to make that actually work. Know what an always on marketing approach is and how to apply it, how the golden rules, know what the golden rules are, and when applying for a job or when applying for a job, understand the importance of the professional CD, and then obviously know how to write an effective cover letter. All things that I think haunt most of us, right? And also become very, 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 very exhausting very quickly, especially when you are like quite actively and aggressively looking for work, because every obviously company that you do apply to or whatever it may be wants an applicant that does consider this a unique uh, quote unquote experience. I'm saying just the application process. So now you've got to constantly cater that cover letter specifically for obviously the responsibilities and the roles, and you know obviously that particular company as well that you're going towards. It is exhausting, but I suppose if you want work and the job is worth it, right? Then you just go ahead and kind of look at that at a holistic view. Obviously, have like a base. We'll talk about that cover later, but know that you're with each one of these kind of approaches, you're gonna you're gonna have to go a little bit more than just the extra mile, right? So, looking at page 540, I'm just gonna turn that over there. Um, but I'm not gonna read it out, right? Because it's here in front of you. Um, if you look, we start with volunteering and mentorship, 14.3.4. Okay, and then we'll look at the activities together and the examples together, right? So important points to remember from from this particular page. One way to gain experience is by volunteering at a local or community radio station. So let me just explain the just how does this work? Obviously, if you want radio experience, sure, you can get some here at Boston. You can join the online station there. Ideally, most stations would want you to go and work at a community station first, right? So how do you apply? I mean, if you look at student stations, they've opened up previously, obviously, when I was at Tux, and for a very long time afterwards, 15, 16, 17 years later, it would only be exclusive, for example, to varsity students, right? So it became very difficult. It was very difficult, if at all not possible, for anyone outside the station to apply or work in any context or whatever capacity, right? At the station. Whereas places like Val and UJ open up to, open up to the public and say, well, obviously we do hire our students, right? But we also allow people in the community, quote unquote, right, to come and work for community stations are about that. It's about helping the community, like upskilling that community and making sure that if they want an opportunity and they are capable, that's the big thing. Like you have to have obviously some type of capacity for being, for example, on air or working in PR or marketing or technical or whatever it is that the station, obviously its departments are made up of, right? So again, theoretically, right, if you are in a particular feeder area where a community station is based, you theoretically are allowed to actually go and work there. I'm saying, so should they have some space for you, um, they should actually allow you to work there should you want to, because again, it's a community service. But the stations don't work that way. You do have to go through an application process, which is fine, and an audition process, which is fine, it makes sense because they want capable people to be able to lend their time of, again, growing at the end of the day. So the community stations are there specifically actually to allow a basis or a foundation for a few years that you can grow in there and make your mistakes, like really learn from scratch how everything works, and obviously how you learn how to do a particular job. And that's what they're for. We have so many stations, as I mentioned before. I'm saying community stations are over the 300s, I think, right? 300 odd. community stations in the country. Yes, they aren't all great, right? But they work hand to mouth. We do have a lot of community stations that are operational as commercial community stations, so they are profitable, and they are obviously also quite legacy. Most of them are legacy community stations that have been around for a really long time, and also maybe even positioned better, and perhaps maybe have in the luck of the draw of having some great, obviously consistent talent in every department. Excuse me. Excuse me. I'm gonna sneeze again. Excuse me. Right. All right. Anyway, so many community, university, and online stations rely heavily on volunteers only. So why? Because again, community stations do not make that much cash, so they've got to pay. I mean, they've got to pay a lot of money for even, let's say, studio maintenance and office maintenance, water, electricity, like obviously perishable. I'm saying, well, I say perishables, what in whatever context, coffee or whatever it may be, right? Milk and all that stuff. Toilet paper. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that adds up over a month, right? They obviously paid the station manager, and if they do have enough budget, they might have a program manager or a technical manager at least, to make sure that like the important thing is that they stay on air, and things when things go wrong or there's technical problems are the big problems, right? So they would tend to hire a technical manager, but for the rest of the staff, it is voluntary work alone. The idea is that when you do enter a community station, that you're hoping to enter a really good station culture. So in other words, sorry, I see someone's just come back in. Okay. So what happens is that, like I say, just close this one, sorry. Just gonna try to get back to that. Okay. Right. So again, you with a good community station, the station culture is what you are inducted into. So, for example, you come into a station, everyone takes their job seriously, everyone's committed, everyone's consistent. Like there's good quality, obviously radio that's being produced and obviously being delivered. Like you will adhere immediately to that culture, right? And I again speak from experience. If Tux hadn't been so extremely militant in the level of radio that they produce, we wouldn't have worked like 3 times as hard as we did to really make it into the industry, but also just make it like survive at the station itself. Very, very competitive, but healthy competition, which is great. Again, you can't always get a great boss. You can't always get great co-workers. You can't always get a great work environment and work satisfaction, right? Either. But the station had, I mean, that particular station at that particular time had all of these things. And so I was glad, obviously. And there are other places, I'm saying other stations in this country, many of them that do have that too, right? So you really want that because then you always want to be there, like regardless of the fact that you don't get paid. And a lot of the I'm saying that the veteran jocks like myself, I'm saying that have made it in and out of the industry and in and out, whatever, will tell you that listen, yeah, like when we were at community stations, I mean, at our startup station, so varsity community, whatever it may be, right? Like we wanted to be at the station all the time. It was just because the atmosphere was so productive to us as human beings, and I'm not saying it became first priority, but it was top priority because that's when, again, I studied a BSc and a BCom honors, uh, but I was busy finding my passion, within radio, just because of where I was quote unquote brought up, right? So you wanna like working at community shows dedication and commitment. Like, do you take it seriously at all? And if you feel like you like need to get paid just because you're there, then you're 10 to 1 going to have a lot of struggles just throughout, I'm saying, life in general. and I'm not trying to be like an old grumpy fool. But the thing is, like, even now, like, I'm ready to do free work just for the prospect of being able to get I'm saying paid work from that free work, right? You need to know the value of putting in like proactive passion, into your work, because it is going to benefit you at the end of the day. All right. So the value of joining as a volunteer is that obviously you provide is that they provide you with valuable on-the-job training where you would either have to come study for it like you are here. I Again, obviously it goes without saying I didn't study radio. Like, I studied it at the station, right? And I spent, like I say, 3.5 years. You kind of learn all the fundamentals and more, which are the most important things in radio. If you don't know how to do the fundamentals, like exponentially great, then what's you can't do anything further than that. Some community stations may ask you to sign a volunteer contract. In fact, I think pretty much all of them do. Treat a volunteering job like a real job, and remember, the more that you put into the job, obviously, the more you're going to get out. So while let's say you are volunteering, so I know that you guys work and stuff, but let's say you do want to start. I know both of you said you want to go into TV, but let's just hypothetically say that you want to go into radio. You could start on Saturdays, like in weekends or in the evenings or whatever it may be, right? And put in the time that you have available. You can make it available to the station as well. It's again, it's a it's a symbiotic relationship. So you will learn from it then, as well, and you will gain from there as well. So did you know that Boston Media House? Yes, we have our own station, as you know. It's now just extended to, I think it's Boston.stream, right? Which is, as I said to you, the next phase to growing the brand just a little bit more. I do have this video ready. Just give me a second. Just want to share that with you. It's a short little video about internships. Give it a second, please. As my PC starting to overload. Where's this thing? Oh yeah, right. Right, here we go. I did say okay, I did say, well, let me just hold on a second. Forget. There we go. Include sound. Okay. Yeah. All right. Here you go.
If you're looking for a job, it can seem like everything requires 3 to 5 years of experience. In fact, experience can be the crucial factor in who gets hired and who doesn't. Employers love experience. But data also shows that post-secondary education is essential for higher lifetime earnings. So how can you get both? Education and experience? Internships. According to a 2012 study by the National Association of Colleges and Employers, 59% of businesses hired their paid interns as new full-time employees. This may be why 65% of 25 to 32-year-olds in the labor force said more work experience while in school would have helped them get the job they wanted. By cultivating the professional networks and skills you'll need to succeed, internships can really improve your employability regardless of what you're majoring in. In fact, a recent Auburn University study showed that interning in a career field could be even more important than majoring in that field when it comes to getting a job interview. And while unpaid internships were a big thing in the past, the U.S. Department of Labor now issues legal guidelines that encourage employers to pay interns for their work. In fact, both national and local data indicate that the overwhelming majority of internships are paid. So intern early and intern often. And if you're a rising college junior or senior looking for an internship, check out the Kentuckiana Works College to Career program. It places good interns with good companies in paid internships. To be considered for a 2015 summer or fall.
And I'm going to just stop it there because that obviously is very specific to the state. But stop there. Okay, so what is true, what applies to you as well, and this is I say no, it's become a staple. So over the past couple of years, we're talking about maybe 6-7 years, it's become a mandate for all commercial stations and commercial brands. I'm saying, so for example, the SABC, Tukakiso Media, to I don't think I've seen any like in Kaya yet or whatever at YFM has its own academy, which we're going to talk about in just a second. But there are internships that run that are obviously again paid for. Like you go there. One of my mentees, she got her internship at Prime Media, but at KFM, right? But it's a year internship. So they teach you everything that I'm saying throughout that year. And obviously you work and you get paid. And then obviously they hire you with the intention of obviously hiring you afterwards, right? So internships have come back, I'm saying quote unquote, because they used to be a thing many, many, many years ago. I'm going to say probably even when you were children, right? So we're talking again when I was about 18, 19, right? It was a big thing because what the companies used to do is that they would seal you in. It was so you would get, let's say, an internship or a job, right? And they would sign a contract. You would sign a contract of 3 to 5 years to kind of pay them back. They would, I don't know, they would do it in small droves. I can't even remember the proper process. But what I want to say about that is that you actually were assured of a job for 3 to 5 years. And obviously your pay would increase over that 3 to 5 years, right? As you would work for them. So, they would pay for your studies. That's what I'm saying to you. They would pay for your studies, and then you would work it back, right? And then work obviously permanently. So there was a great we're struck like there's a complete obviously void. Sorry, that's my load shedding that just happened. Yeah, there's a complete void of that across a lot of companies, across a lot of industries, just in general. But we do see that, and you can please just keep in track. I'm saying I know you guys got jobs, but keep on track with the internships that are run by our big media companies. All right. Let me just move on to the next. Are there any questions just regarding like just your own, maybe did you have any questions just in general? I'm saying to you about applying at companies or anything at all around that you've struggled with or that you've maybe attempted to, uh, boy pillow from your side or thinking of, like who would you like to work for, finding about internships?
Um, so far, I have nothing, sir.
Okay. And you, Oratile?
No, sir. Unfortunately, I haven't made much research on that either.
Okay. Like I say, I'm not saying go quit your day job, which obviously you guys have, but I am saying that these things are available. All you have to do, like genuinely, just from my side, like a piece of advice, is put alerts on, right? Put alerts from the go sign. You just create a login account to the SABC, and then create alerts for like internships, radio, media, whatever it is on the job portals like Indeed, and there's Indeed's probably one of the better ones, but also Biz Community as well, that will alert you of these particular, you know, these internships, right? I'm just going to zoom in on this, right? So with the Y Academy in particular, and we're not going to go there, we're going to look at our book for this, right? But the Y Academy has been around forever, right? It was uh, held in very high regard for many, many years. I'm not saying that it's bad right now, but the thing is that the nice thing about the Y Academy is, okay, one, no radio station had an academy. In fact, no radio station actually does still have an official academy. The Y Academy is the only one that does exist. I'm saying, and with obviously great success as well. Um, but but before, what they would do is you would only be admitted into the Y Academy if they were going to place you in a job. I'm saying at Y, but keep you there. And it's not as consistent now, I'm saying. So I don't know every internal obviously, happening of the Y Academy itself, but it now serves more so somewhere where you can go and train, and then they'll decide perhaps from people that do obviously apply, like, so I'm saying do join in like you would, let's say, at Boston Media House, whether they would take you on, let's say, further within YFM itself, right? Excuse me. So again, internships at the SABC, so rather applying at the SABC so they can see where you're going to fit, which station, might be TV, might be radio, whatever it may be, and at which station you might actually fit in well enough. So that's always a nice one to start, because the SABC is so massive, and once you get into the SABC, I don't see why people leave. You understand? I'm saying if there isn't any like conflict or some kind of like bad blood or whatever it may be, you can you can kind of like live and die at the SABC, because there's just so much you can move from one job to another, one position to another. Right. So just be aware, should I say, of that, right? Or of these opportunities for you. And yeah, like make sure that you don't miss out on them. Okay. Another just a short video just here on networking. Just give me a second here. Right. And excuse the back and forth with it. Right. Just go here and let's have a look here. Just be a little patient. When the load shedding goes off, the PC really slows down. And you just do that on the station.
Sir, I I can't hear what the lady's saying. It's muted.
Hey, got you. Yeah.
No, I couldn't hear anything.
Ah,
It was
so
muted the
sorry.
whole entire time.
Was it music?
Muted. I can't hear
No.
anything at all.
Sorry. When I share this, I just that's on me. So I just it's about to share. Damn it. So sorry for that. Wasted some very credible, I mean, valuable 2 minutes there. I'm not being sarcastic. Sorry about that. Yeah, okay. Let's try this one more time, Chris. Okay, here we go. Right. Here she goes. Just give us.
Networking is and always has been the cornerstone of business since we know it. In fact, it's a cornerstone of business in terms of the ability to connect and interact with human beings with each other to drive business. The thing is that adage, it's not what you know, it's who you know, has significantly more weight than ever before in this 21st century world of business. Are being taken before they're even being advertised, where collaborations are almost popping up out of the woodwork every day and taking us by surprise, where the reality is that every single one of us is having to ideate, is having to innovate, is having to remain relevant and be relevant in a world that's constantly changing. And so the reality is we can't do that on our own. We can't be agile. We can't move quickly enough. We're unable to come up with innovations on our own. We need people around us. It's impossible to be successful alone. So those of you that think you can do it alone, it's absolutely rubbish. We need to have people around us. We need to make sure we network, but the key is networking effectively. Networking in a way that is adding value to you and the people that you're working with. Networking that's adding value to your thinking, your mastery, your expertise, and ultimately networking that's going to future-proof yourself, your career, and your business. There is no doubt in my mind that networking absolutely still matters in this busy, volatile, uncertain world in which we're living in. But the most important thing is, who are the people around you? What is the network of you that you are building to guarantee your future success?
Okay. Stop the sharing. All right. Look, I just want to kind of open that up in the sense that, like, what are the, like, let's be realistic about networking. Sure. The thing is, it is not only important, the thing is, it's crucial because the thing is, I'll even tell you now, I did an interview, just recently, it was, a couple of weeks ago, with on my show with a recruiter. And because the thing is that I was doing some research as to how people get jobs, because the thing is that on LinkedIn, for example, they open up a job, obviously, there's a job available, and immediately there are a couple of hundred of applicants, right? I've even got a friend that actually also works sidebar, just in the human resources department of her particular company, and I actually also just double asked to make sure whether this is true. I think is that, the reason why people just apply and apply and apply and apply is because companies don't look at they don't look at those applications, hardly at all, right? And because there's also so much on, let's say, just to play devil's advocate, right? On their side, when they do start looking through applications, there's a lot of people that just apply and they don't even have the experience. They don't, like, they are just randomly applying and whatever it is, and it's quite exhaustive on their part as well. So what I'm saying is, what follows next is what's quite interesting, is that but predominantly with jobs, the people that do get the jobs, it's either an internal job that they advertise it internally and have actually someone that they have in mind, already hired. And what they do is they advertise the job because legally you have to advertise it publicly, right? Otherwise, it's considered favoritism, or it's unfair in some legal aspect. Anyway, excuse me. The other thing is that a large percentage of people that do get jobs, right, are through affiliate. Is it affiliate? It's basically when you are recommended by somebody that does work there or that knows somebody, which is the networking process, right? So if some other way, like maybe maybe an uncle, an aunt, or a friend, or like whatever it is, right, has is working at a company and they know you are a great, obviously, option, you know what I'm saying, a candidate for a particular job. They will be the one to refer you, right, to the boss. The boss obviously trusts their judgment because they already are in the company or they've worked with them before, whatever it is. And then you are the one to actually have jumped the queue in applications or whatever it may be. And the companies stop looking there, because they can't search 500 and they don't want to, and nor do they, right? Why this ties back into also again, so the relationship and networking aspect from that aspect, or that point of view, does actually play a massive role in this industry. It is almost essential that you actually you're going to get a job through somebody that you do know or through some kind of network experience, like you've attended an event or someone's listened to your work and they've referred you to, like I say, right? And hardly ever with I'm saying like a cold application, right? You can send as many as you want, and I'm not saying you'll get no responses, but you'll predominantly get zero response, right? um and so I'm not painting a dismal picture here. I'm saying that the reality of, and especially in this industry, because it's so extremely small, the entertainment industry generally, right? um, 10 to 1, this is going to be where you predominantly find work, I'm saying, throughout your career. Uh, Very important, like I say, that's what I'm saying. It's also really important to keep your, I say, so extramural, saying, portfolio relevant and active, because if at the very least, right, they don't hear of you from someone, they will hear of you from somewhere. So like I say, like you've won an award, or your, like I say, your podcast is or you understand it's being whatever it is, like your work's being recognized in some other kind of way, which gets someone's attention without you having to apply for a job. They'll approach and kind of like scout you or poach you, right? Okay. Um, in so you just from your experience and your opinion, I suppose, in terms of, let's say, networking, because I've also got, like, let's say you go to an event. I'm just going to quickly give you this little thing here. Let's say you go to an event. There are so many people that are um so they surface level networkers. So it's very insulting. It's very kind of like, well, everyone, they go there with the proverbial, like their little cards or whatever it is, their business cards, and they hand it out to literally everyone and anyone that they can actually see. People get really annoyed and they actually just kind of chuck it away or whatever it may be, right? Because they know that there's like this very kind of second car salesman approach that this particular person or people take when they are trying to, quote unquote, network. A better way to network is to, one, obviously research the people that are going to be at this event and target perhaps maybe two or three that you want to have like a meet and greet with, so a meaningful conversation, a meaningful interaction, something that shows you that you have prepared for like this conversation with them. Perhaps maybe you can even preempt that with like, like a message on LinkedIn or whatever it may be. If you could ask for some of their time, they're going to be at this event or whatever it may be. So it's that respectful approach of like, oh, you have chosen you've chosen me and not just any old person that's here, because you are invested in what I could potentially be part of your journey, and that normally works. That works a lot better, exponentially better than just this, like I say, the throwing out of your business card or whatever. Obviously, there are certain situations, like let's say you are a service provider in some other kind of way, like so you're selling something where people are perhaps coming to a stall of yours, or you are part of a conference or whatever it may be. That's different. Like you should have like a bunch of obviously business cards where people can just come and grab your stuff, and they will get in contact with you. So that's a different form of networking, maybe in a different, or definitely in a different kind of situational context, right? So just as a quick question, have you any of yous got any tips or experiences trying to network, Boipelo, from your side? Like, I mean, you were on that set, you said there for a day. Did you make any connections? Did you have any conversations with people?
Yes, sir, I did.
And what,
I
what were they like?
questions like, what are you doing? Are you in school? And that was just pretty much it.
Well, tell me
However,
what, yeah, tell me. Yeah.
um, I do, however, feel like I can have network because the person who called me on that day still has my number. So
Good.
whenever I do need like a job or whatever, I could always just text him or the other way around.
Okay. Good.
So
So,
yes,
so you did a good job. That's always the best thing, is that they have a good track record of you, right?
yes,
And and again, like I say, for example, in that situation, like because you're in a work environment, like that you do show that you're a team player, that you do or you are social with the people that you are working with without
yes,
being abrasive, or like when you're pushing yourself on other people, it's very unpleasant, you understand, especially in
yes,
a work environment, right? But they would tend to gravitate to you because you have to. So I always call it 15 minutes of fame. I'm not I'm not a when I say I'm not a people's person, I don't particularly enjoy being around people, like genuinely, because only because I prefer m- my I prefer my own space. But when I do have to be sociable, you understand? So in other words, like for the purpose of work, um predominantly, right? Okay, because I don't, I'm past the age where I go and I sit at a party or whatever it is and uncomfortably sit there and not know what to do, right? But then I call it the 15 minutes of fame. So whoever I do have to interact with, so for example, let's say if I'm at like obviously at a station now, but I'm saying if you are at a station, you're going to have, let's say, parties where there's clients, where there are let's say others, let's say celebrities that come through, or whatever it is, ambassadors, or it doesn't matter, right? There are going to be stakeholders that are attending that event. You have to, I say, for 15 minutes, I can have a very rich conversation with a particular person at any one given time. Does that make sense? So I only have to afford, like, make myself available for 15 minutes. I'm saying fully expressively and invested, you know, so that that person, that my interaction with them is a good one. Does it make sense, right? So I don't have to carry on, because we're going to get into, like I say, like first date, second date awkwardness, where you're sitting there and you're like, uh, and you now start asking awkward questions. And once you're done with a good interaction, move on. You understand? If you and then take a moment and then go and perform, like I say, with another person, right? That is a good way of gravitating through, like I say, high um social situations, right? So high capacity social situations. Let's say you go, I don't know if any of you have been, so Oratile, let me just shut up quickly and tell me about your experiences. So in terms of networking, or do you do it? And if you can hear me, or if you not, if not, okay, I'm gonna just quickly continue with that train of thought of mine. I can't even remember what I was going to say now. Damn it! Now I lost my train of thought. Anyway, oh yeah, no, I was going to say. So, in many situations, it's like, for example, I don't know why people. We all felt. I don't know if you feel weird going to the movies alone, like, because at some other point in your life you felt a little bit self-conscious, like it said something about you or not. But I mean, like, the best thing is to go to a movie alone, because then you can enjoy it in its entirety. And if it's a not a great movie, well, then you can complain to yourself and whatever it may be. I don't know. If you want to leave early, you can. If you come late, you can. um, I use the movie as an example because, to a much much higher pressure situation, is to attend a, like I say, a press party or whatever it is, or it doesn't matter, an event alone, right? And then you must gravitate through, like I say, like a couple of hundred people, right, that are all invited to this event, right? Or even 60 or 70, 80 people, and you mustn't feel awkward or want to rush off outside and have a smoke or just drink or whatever it is. You must gravitate through from one group to another group, quite naturally. And that's a really big test, and a good test to continuously put yourself, to really gain that experience and that confidence, to be able to have that. You're not there to make friends, you're there to make connections, right? Anyway, so just a couple of points on that. And again, if it's a very daunting idea for you to, let's say, do what I just said to you, then try it in very small capacities first. Go to, let's say, a party or a get together that's at a very small capacity, 15, 20 people. Try and see how you navigate through a lot of people that you don't know, without, let's say, a security blanket, right, to keep you safe, because most people will just tend to attach themselves to one person that they know, and then the whole night is for nothing, right? Anyway, okay, so when a radio job becomes available, employees probably already have an idea about who they want to replace that particular employee with, right? So employers, right? Um, Right, sorry, excuse me for that. That's why it's beneficial to get to know the people who make the decisions. Adopt an always on marketing approach to yourself and your brand. Network by attending radio audio specific conferences and events, both social and formal. So, even for example, now there's this cool event on marketing, right? That's being held, or it's being hosted by quite a massive amount of really big marketing specialists in radio, and just to go attend it online. You don't even have to go in person, just to be able to maybe share a question or two or three or whatever it is, or get to know these people on a quote unquote little bit more of a personal basis, right? So they can see, maybe even notice that you are attending these things more regularly, whatever it may be, right? At a conference, take notes, ask questions, and collide with people that you want to connect with. This is a perfect way. It's a perfect excuse to talk to people, because a conference is formal and it's there for education or some kind of, like I say, like knowledge sharing. So it's expected that you would go and talk and collaborate and, connect with people. So, quote unquote, network, right? Um, all right. So, question so far? Anything?
No, sir. Nothing.
Anything on that?
No
Okay.
question.
All right. All right. Are you ready for one more video? Let's go another video. All right. This time I'm going to share with the sound. So just give me a second. Share with the sound. There we go. There we go. And here we go. Hi, it's Elliot here from
Kent Teach. Today, we're going to tell you our 6 golden rules of job application. Number 1, read the advert carefully. Ensure you read additional documents thoroughly and try to include keywords from the advert in your reason for application, demonstrating how you meet the criteria listed on the person specification. Think about the person reading the application forms, especially if you're applying for a sought-after role which is likely to attract numerous applicants. Don't let your submission stand out for the wrong reasons. Ensure your application form is easy to read, covers the requirements of the job, and provides clear and relevant examples to back up what you're writing. If you're completing the school's own downloadable application form, make sure that the font you use is easy to read and looks professional. Number 2, tailor your application for each role. Always tailor your reason for applying for every vacancy you apply for. Try to include the name of the school, the job title, and any. It's always too easy to copy and paste text from a generic statement. This will stand out a mile. Number 3, check your application. Always double check your application form before clicking the submit button. Better still, ask a friend or family member to read it for you, as it can be easy to miss mistakes yourself. Spelling and grammatical errors won't give a good first impression and can be the difference between you being invited to interview or being unsuccessful in your application. Number 4, visit the school. This is common practice in the education sector for candidates to visit the school before applying for a vacancy. Visiting the school will show that you are committed and will also give you lots to write about in your application. Number 5, do your research. Job applications are a two-way process which will help you decide if the school and the vacancy are right for you. Look at the school's website and read the latest Ofsted report to find out as much as possible about them. Not only is this knowledge useful should you be interviewed, but it can also help you decide if you want to apply in the first place. And finally, number 6, ensure you have quality references. Always check with your referees before putting them on the application form that they are happy to be approached for a reference. In education, referees will be contacted prior to the job interview, so make sure you supply the correct contact details so they can be easily contacted. To find your next role, visit kent-teach.com.
All right. Okay. Let me just quickly stop that one. I know it was specific. Sorry, let me just get that off. It was quite a little specific to an education sector, but the say the intention still applies with all those steps there. Besides, obviously, visiting the school, maybe you can visit the business or definitely research the business, speak to people that are working there, especially. So these things all still apply, right? Okay. So just so I know that you'll stop me if there are any questions, right? And that's so this particular with the golden rules. I'm also going to have to. I think I also have to play this one. Yeah. In particular, and that's a start and stop. I do. I mean, just with what was I going to say with this one? No, let me just keep quiet. So with this, because let me keep my train of thought clear. All right. So with career advice and golden rules, let's quickly just have a look at. So tell me about your CV. Do you have a CV that you put together? Because we are going to talk about that just now. Yourself, like how does your CV look? What have you included in it? Have you written a cover letter before? Yeah. I could hear you. No, I can't hear you. I don't know why. You can hear me fine. Fine. Oh, now your mic is off. I don't know why. That's weird. Try switch your mic on and off again. See? Right now? Oh man. I don't know why nothing's coming through now. Okay. Let me because it's gonna get exhausting for you, I'm guessing, to try and figure out technical things here. Okay, show me a little bit of an emoji if you understand so far. If there are any questions, are you fine? Show me a little thumbs up here. Like a react. There we go. Okay, thank you. All right, so let's just quickly. Okay, then what I'm going to do. Let's have a look at this career advice, and then we'll close up for the night. Okay, so once again, as explained just in that video, very important to understand the role that you are applying for. I wouldn't not, so I would recommend, even if you don't, let's say, know all the skills, but you know the majority of, you are proficient in the majority of skills that are obviously advertised in a job that you are applying for, then apply for it anyway, right? With the experience log, I would really keep it quite short and I say succinct. In other words, only include the stuff that is relative or relevant to that particular job. Because the thing is that we used to be again, there used to be a time and place for everything, right? And there used to be a time and a place for long CVs with, like all your accreditations and long explanations as to what you did in every single job or whatever. But now people became less tolerant of it. So some people say, sure, do a 1 or 2 page CV, but ideally, like a 4-page CV is fine. If you just, so like I say, you also you have to put in a picture these days because they want to see what you look like as well. They're not going to judge you on your appearance, but they do want to they want to see if you are professional looking, right? And they're gonna, when it gets to an interview process or a lot of jobs, should I say, have a pre-interview process. So what they do now to also almost immediately say you do or you don't qualify for the job is that they'll put you through a pre-screening online process where you have to answer a bunch of questions, and then you will get either an email that says you have obviously gone through to the consideration part or phase or whatever it is, or they will say to you immediately, like, you haven't met the requirements or you are not obviously suited for this particular position, right? But like I say, the thing is, don't make the CV too long. It is very quote unquote exhausting for the HR managers to have a look at, and they tend to want to just go to someone who's got something that's a little bit more succinct, I'm saying, and put together. So all these things are kind of repetitions of what was in that video. But the thing is, this is a good point here. Do things in person. It's always better than a virtual you. The temptation is always there because we're encouraged to take part in a virtual ecosystem. I'm saying a world. But the thing is that if you can maybe just phone them at least and have a conversation with the person that is doing the hiring or whatever it is before you apply for the job and show your interest and create a little bit of a connection, they will then be almost aware that you are going to apply and almost expect that CV or application from you as well, because they'll have built some kind of quick image of you, right? In their mind, right? And ask them valuable questions when you are at an interview and they say to you, for example, do you have any questions for us? Have questions for them, right? When you do follow through, you want to follow through properly, right? If you go for an interview, and you don't have any questions, or you are quite quote unquote submissive, in other words, you're not interactive, they will take that. There's people are moody, right? Or they take perception as reality, right? Perception is reality is a big thing in what people perceive is their reality of you, right? And so rather be proactive. And again, think of, let's say, just only 4 other people that you have to compete for a job. Any one of you 5 are eligible. Maybe you have the same amount of skill sets, the same amount of capabilities, but only one of yous will be memorable enough to give the job to. Right. Just want to see which of the two. So yeah, I'm gonna leave the powerful CV one to watch on your own, because that's something that we've just discussed. Just give me a second. One more video here. Just give it a second because it is just lagging here a bit. Okay. Right. And let's do one more short video and then we'll close up the lesson. Okay, here we go. No. Sorry. That's not right. A second. Share with audio, Chris. Submit. Here we go. All right. Oh, it's not available. Fabulous. Okay. Let's see. Okay, excuse that. Right. Let's just then continue with summarizing the lesson. All right. So powerful CV, as I said there. Just excuse that. I don't know why that link does not work. And then just with, again, these things that I've said to you already, let's just quickly have a look at some points. Page 545 to 548 is where the reference is. Your CV once is obviously a condensed version of your work and education history, right? And if you're a content creator, you have to be able to show that body of work, as I've said in the beginning of our lesson today. The cover letter, once again, needs to be nothing longer than 1 page. It's far too long if it is, right? Also include all your social media handles in there, and any other alternative contacts as well that you do have for yourself so that they can reach you. And then again, the cover letter is, the key tools and tips are customize it. Okay. You can test yourself, right, over the next few days by completing activity 14D. Boipila, what I'm gonna do is, just I can't hear you. I'm going to just quickly call you on WhatsApp, if that's okay, so I can just get some closing, any thoughts from you. Give me a second here. Let's find you. Is it? Well, Peter, are you? Oh, I'm gonna just. Who am I gonna phone now? Is it Nompumelelo or is it Vuli Valley? Which one? Which one are you? Let me do this. Are you Nompumelelo or are you Vuli Valley? Saved on you. Are you Nompumelelo? Is it a thumbs up? Or are you Vuli Valley? Thumbs up. Okay. Do I have your okay, what I'm gonna do, man, this is not ideal. You do have my number? Can you send me a WhatsApp so I can just have a closing conversation so that I know that I don't leave you in the lurch? Do you have my are you on the group? Yeah, I'm gonna just put in the chat as well. Just send me a message that I can just quickly phone you. Stop it. Yeah.